a demon and they're here to slay you all. Hey you, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Jenny Knows and I'm a licensed psychotherapist. Today we're breaking down K-pop Demon Hunters. Y'all, this movie is so popular, it's so cute, it's so great, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. I also did a reaction on Golden, one of the most popular songs from the movies, and you can find it somewhere on the screen or in the description box, so look out for that, okay? Y'all, I love musicals so much, so I was especially excited to see that this movie was a musical. When I saw Demon in the title, I was so scared because I'm really scared of scary movies and I typically don't watch them, but I'm so glad that I persevered through all of that and watched it. So let's break it down. Here are the themes that I noticed in the movie. I noticed there was no diet culture. Life cycles of friendships, shame, trust, and self-acceptance. So those are the 5 themes I noticed, and I'm going to break them down, so let's go. The movie opens up with the girls enjoying delicious foods, delicious ramen. I'm like, I was ready to go and get a miso ramen something. I was like, this movie made me really hungry right off bat. Especially since this movie was aimed at young people, I was so happy to see that it had that element into it. I grew up in the 90s and 2000s and that diet culture was really rampant. So I was really to see this where it's really, especially 3 young women scarfing down some food and enjoying their lives.
Time for our pre-game ramen!
Happy fans, happy honeymoon!
Okay, so let's go into the next theme, life cycles of friendships. I noticed the theme of them working together. It really brought me back to my childhood, seeing a girl group. I wasn't in a girl group, but my cousin, my sister, and I definitely pretended we were Destiny's Child. I noticed that the girls trust each other's intuitions. This is exemplified by when the demons were able to hijack their plane. They kind of just looked at each other and they already knew, hey, it's go time. Let's defend ourselves. Let's protect the world from these demons. And obviously they won. They go on to have a beautiful performance, but at the end of the night, when they're ready to kind of relax, Rumi is like, no relaxation. We have our next song coming up. But then unfortunately Rumi's voice breaks down. She can't sing well. And this is where I saw that the girls came together. Zoey already had the answers to all the problems. She was looking up different remedies, finding different places to go. She was on it. And this is what I love about friendship. Your friends are already there to have your back. You don't even need to say a peep. They're already there for you. As they're coming back, they run into these boys, and Mira and Zoey are like, oh, these guys are beautiful. And Rumi is trying to be above them, like, oh, they're not.
You guys are so gross.
But she locks eyes with Gino, and she's like, oh, okay, I see what the girls are talking about. But those boys are really mean and nasty to them, and they're like, ugh, forget it. But something kind of piques them, like, who are these people? And they end up seeing the lines on them and they know, oh my gosh, these are demons and they're trying to take our spot. They're trying to make sure the honeymoon does not close. Now, a big thing of this movie is that Rumi is part demon.
My dad was a demon?
You're not one of them, Rumi. You're a hunter, just like you.
And this is something she has not shared with her friends. The only person that knows this is her adoptive mother. All I'm thinking about in my therapist's brain with this first theme is, wow, these girls really love each other, they care about each other, and they are coming together to make sure Rumi is okay. The next theme I recognized was shame and secrets. So like I mentioned before, Rumi is part demon and she has not shared that with her friends. During the movie, the girls go to fight the demons and Rumi ends up leaving to follow Gino, and Gino ends up discovering that she is part demon, and he's like, whoa. And obviously the girls don't know, and he's like, well, I bet your friends don't know. So now it comes to a point where like now a stranger knows your secret, but your closest friends don't. And this is really hard because her friends could look at her like, wow, you didn't trust us to tell us, and somebody else found out. Even though you didn't automatically tell him, he found out. And now a stranger knows your secret, but your friends don't. That's really sad. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'd be trying to figure out a way to tell my friends something, because now this stranger has something over you and you don't know him. And worst of all, he's a demon and they're here to slay you all. So Rumi ends up getting close to Gino because he sends a cat over to deliver a message like, meet me this place. They end up getting close, kind of like have a crush on each other. And all this time I'm thinking, should you trust this guy? Should your friends not know you're hanging out with a demon? It's like, should you trust Gino? Should you not? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. How would you feel if your friend had a secret and an enemy knew, but you didn't? How would you feel? So Rumi ends up concocting a plan saying, you, Jinu, help me. We're going to fight a plan. We're going to fight Gima. We're going to win and we're going to close the honeymoon and we're going to be safe. Let's do this. Again, it's like you're trusting this stranger to be on your side after they found out your secret. I don't know about that. But again, these are young girls, and it's okay for a young girl to make a mistake like this, to feel like, okay, I can trust this person. You're not gonna have hope in this person. But that's like a little, I don't know. You let me know. Let me know in the comments. What are y'all thinking? Sadly, Jinu does not follow through. The Gima finds out and he calls back for Jinu. So this doesn't really work out in her favor. And this is when the girls find out, oh my gosh, Rumi is a demon, or at least part demon.
What?
We're hiding this from us?
Rightfully, the girls are upset, and it's really up to Rumi at this point to come clean, to explain why she kept this secret in for so long. And it's not like she hadn't tried to tell her friends. She had, but her adoptive parent was like, no, don't tell them yet. As soon as we close the honeymoon, you will no longer have to worry about this. So when we talk about shame here, I think of the demons as well. If you're watching the movie, you could see that the demon is controlling the minds of the people, and also controlling the minds of the people at the stadium. Like, okay, telling them the negative things about themselves to lead them to believe they just shouldn't care. They should do something else with their life and not to try to be positive. So if you're listening, you could see that. So yes, the demons are not favorable, but Gima has this hold over them that is making them do negative things because they are ashamed of being demons. So there's that shame that comes into it. I'm wondering if there's going to be a part 2 where they kind of convert the demons into better people. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Is this movie going to have a part 2? Because I think those are some questions I had, because shame plays such a big role in this movie. The shame Rumi carries for being part demon. The shame the demons carry for the terrible things they have done. Because when we look at each other, we all have done something we're not proud of. So where does that forgiveness come into play? Where does that compassion come into play? Obviously, if someone's a repeat offender or some things that cannot be forgiven, then that's different. But I'm wondering if forgiveness could be at play here, if it would be important. Can these people be rehabilitated? Rumi ends up going to confront the demon by herself, and of course her girls have her back. They come to support her because they are hearing the lyrics that she's singing. Like, she's done hiding. She's not doing this anymore. Like, they're like, okay, we got to go support our girl. Yes, we're mad at her, but we know her. We know who she is. We know what kind of person she is. So let's go support her. It was so beautiful to see this, because in my therapist's brain, I'm like, friendship and community is so important. When you've made a mistake, when you've dug yourself in a hole, it's important for you to apologize to your friend and say, okay, like, I made a mistake. And the thing is, if you get mad and yell at somebody publicly, or you are mean to someone publicly, then you need to apologize publicly, because that's what you did. If that's what that person wanted, of course. While they're fighting the demons, Jinu ends up coming back to Rumi and giving her his soul so that she can fight Gima. And y'all know I was a little nervous about him. I didn't trust him well, but seeing that he did that, I thought that was a good gesture, because hey, we came up with the plan together and you kind of betrayed me. But it's like, did he betray her, or did Gima call him back? I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. So it was good to see that he came, gave her his soul, and she was able to fight and defeat Gima. He ended up keeping his word. After this was all said and done, Rumi was able to go to the bathhouse with her friends, something she had not been able to do before, because she was ashamed of her demon marks, and because she was not able to be her true self with her friends at her adoptive mother's guidance. So it was really nice to see that she was able to be her full self with her friends, something she had been longing to do, but she was so ashamed of being a part of the demon. And her adoptive mother, of course, was like, no, you need to hide these. Even though I felt like Rumi sometimes was ready to be her full authentic self with her friends. Let's get into the next theme, trust. Back early on in the movie, when Rumi's voice wasn't working, I'm wondering if it was because the demons were on the earth. I'm wondering if this was some sort of warning, and if her friends knew that she was part demon, maybe they could have figured something else out. I'm not sure. What do you think? This is just my brain going off in different directions. Whenever I'm watching a movie, my brain is all over the place thinking and running. So that's what my brain is thinking. Let me know in the comments. And finally, self-acceptance. Throughout this movie, we see the theme of Rumi feeling like she was a mistake, her aunt trying to protect her and telling her not to share her secret. So then she becomes shameful about her identity and who she truly is, because she has her aunt who's like, no, don't tell anyone because of the shame that, you know, you're part demon. That's shameful. So then she ends up kind of internalizing that. And towards the end of the movie, you see her come out of that and be happy about who she is and love herself for the way she is. So it was good to see that she was able to come out of that. In my therapist's brain, I'm like, it's not healthy for you to tell a child that they're bad or part of them is bad, because it's then like the child didn't create themselves. So the adoptive mother kind of telling her like, oh, don't share this, that is definitely going to breed the shame about her identity. It's definitely going to do that. At the end of the day, this was a child, and having to carry that full weight of that part demon identity is terrible. Also, speaking for the aunt, how can you raise someone to love themselves fully when someone hates part of who they are? How do you teach that self-love? I think this is where you try to teach the child like, hey, you are you and you know who you are. You know what you do. You know you're not like those other people. You know you make different choices. You know by the way you've dedicated yourself to fight against negative things like that, to fight against demons. So you know that about yourself. So that's where your self-love and self-acceptance should come from. But I'm wondering if this was the culture that the aunt grew up in. Did she know that? And I keep calling her the aunt. Is she the aunt or the adoptive mother? I can't even remember. Let me know in the comments. So what can we learn from this movie? How can we grow from watching this movie? But first, let's talk about the girls and their kind of different personality traits. Mira had a hard shell. She was known as this bad child, got into a lot of trouble. And when you think about that, children that are like this or cause trouble or difficult are children that did not have their needs met, who were not from supportive environments. So we also have to think about that when we're labeling children with those negative stereotypes. It's not their fault they're this way. It's not their fault this is happening to them. They're brand new here in this world, and to grow up and having that identity, it's hard. And you're thinking about Zoey. She's always looking to be affirmed. Who told her she wasn't good enough? Who told her that she wasn't enough? Like, that's where it comes from. It's hard when you're a child experiencing those things. You come up with having those different personality traits. And of course, Rumi, she had that hard time with self-acceptance and struggling with shame because of her history with her father being a demon and her aunt not really teaching her that, hey, you may have this identity, but how can you be different? How can you be more than that identity? It's by the way you treat people. It's by the way you are yourself. It's by the way you treat people well. And this is what I talk about before when I mentioned the demons and rehabilitation and Rumi being able to be rehabilitated. So they are all experiencing life based on their individual experiences. Okay, so what can we learn from this? We're all different. We're all deserving of love. We're all deserving of compassion. We all make mistakes. We all grow from those mistakes. And y'all, this is the therapist speaking. Friendships are important. Community is important. But it's also important that we do right by our friends. We do right by our community. And when we fall, we stumble, it's important that we recognize that we fall and we recognize that we stumble and we apologize and we try to make amends to those people we have hurt. It's important. We should also want to be good and do good in this world. Our lives literally depend on it. And also, we all experience some form of identity crisis growing up, and it's important that we understand that. We are compassionate to each other. We're compassionate to others because of that. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. As always, if you're interested, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps me out. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. All right. Bye now.